You're on, Caleb.
Hello, nerds around the world. Whoa, it's me. It's Caleb, back to hosting. I'm back into this. I'm back on the main show, and I'm not gonna leave early this time. I promise you. Guys, I'm super excited to be here. I got an amazing crew riding with me tonight. Because we're talking about fucking Star Wars. Everybody loves Star Wars. Everybody talks about Star Wars all the time. My wife says, "Don't we talk about Star Wars too much?" Nah, fuck that. We love talking about Star Wars. So, first of all, I want to introduce my panel. First of all, he's my best friend. He's my brother, Mr. Paul English. Paulie, what's up, buddy?
Good evening, nerds around the world. Welcome to episode 44 of our show. I can't believe how far we've gotten. I know. And as Caleb mentioned, we are talking about the greatest goddamn saga in cinema history, the Star Wars saga. Yes! Play that music! Yes! I fucking love these movies. I can't get enough of them, and I cannot wait to talk about them. May the Force be with us, everyone.
That's right. And we also got another OG. He's been with me even before Paulie came on YouTube, and that's Chris. Chris, buddy, are you pumped for Star Wars, sir? It looks like
for Star Wars.
You got a shoot on, bro.
Yes, I'm pumped for Star Wars. And to take a cue from Bill Murray, Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars. Da, da, da.
That's right.
And we're also going to have the Millennium Falcon and a Star Destroyer here. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
And the t-shirt.
Nice. Somebody's excited. All right. Next up, he's been on a few shows with us. He's a really cool guy. He likes the prequels. What the fuck? Mr. Colton. Colton, what's up, buddy?
Hey Caleb, I'm back and I can't be here for long, but hold that thought. Okay, that's better. Hey Caleb, well, I'm glad to be here, and yes, I'm a fan of the prequels, okay? Except for episode 2, and well, even then, all the Obi-Wan stuff is cool in that movie. Besides that, episode 4 is my favorite movie of all time. So what can I say except for, hi, I'm Colton Hunt, and I'm a Star Wars addict.
Hi, Colton.
That's right. Also joining us, I haven't seen him on the show. I don't know if he's been on, but again, I haven't been on as much as I want to be. But we got Alex here. Alex, what's up, buddy?
Hi, how's it going? This is actually my first show, so yeah, you wouldn't have seen me before. But
welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, and obviously, I'm ready to go.
Awesome. And last but certainly not least, he's been on a bunch of shows, which is pretty cool. We got Mike. Mike, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing? Got my saber here.
I think most of us do.
Y'all got lightsabers on. I'm so jealous. God damn.
Yeah, mine doesn't really work anymore. It just ejects and all that. But so glad to be here talking about the greatest the greatest movies of all time, Star Wars.
All right, guys. So here's how it's gonna work. We're first gonna start. We're gonna start in from episode 1 going through episode 6, and then we're gonna talk about the future. We're gonna talk about Star Wars and how it's affected us growing up, how it affects us now, and we're also gonna talk about its impact on a pop culture, whether it be positive, negative. So that's really how it's gonna go. So we're gonna start, of course, episode 1. The Phantom Menace. So let me just start off by saying this is probably the most I would say like a disappointing movie of all time. Maybe it was so hyped. It was everybody. People were camped out for days to see this movie, and it was such a letdown for all of us huge Star Wars fans of the original trilogy. So Paulie, real quick, your thoughts on Phantom Menace? Give me your positives and give me your negatives.
I'll admit as a kid I loved it, but as a grown-up I realized just what a god-awful movie it is. The story's not all that impressive. Some of the characters are kind of underwhelming. Do I even need to mention what an annoying pain in the ass Jar Jar Binks is? I think not. And the special...
Paul?
do enjoy Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor as Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan respectively. And that final battle between Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul, unbelievably epic. Everything from the intensity to the music. Amazing fight scene, and I absolutely love it. So that's a positive about episode 1.
Okay. All right, Paulie. Thank you. Yes, best thing about the prequels was Darth Maul, and then they killed him. But it's cool. Whatever. Going to Chris. Chris, your thoughts on episode 1, Phantom Menace? Give me your positives and give me your negatives, please.
Yeah, I mean, like many of you, back in 1999, this movie was heavily promoted, based on the popularity of the 3 classic films, and people were expecting them to be the greatest film of all time. I said that myself, maybe I was wrong on such a. Probably I was going to say it was going to be one of the greatest films of all time. I liked it myself as a kid, but now looking back on it, you can see the cracks in everything. Probably the positives had to be the visuals, which are stunning to say the least. 2,000 visual effects shots done by Industrial Light and Magic. It's just because the great scope of it, considering an underwater city. Many droid armies and stuff like that. It's like, but it felt so hollow. It had underdeveloped characters. It had a plain storyline, and stilted dialogue. It's just like the performances are not that impressive, especially from Jake Lloyd, who I like to call Mannequin Skywalker. He's just stiff as a block of wood. It's just god awful. It's just like it's not a great start to that whole thing.
Right. I mean, like, I'm with you, Chris. I mean, listen. Probably the worst thing about the prequels is the horrendous dialogue that's in the movies. I mean, it's so freaking terrible. And the visuals, yeah, they look great, but the green screen is real. Like the how much green screen that George used, because who wants to shoot on location? But no, we don't want that. We can just do digital. We do all this green screen. I ain't worried about that. But anyway, sorry, get off on a rant there. All right, I'm going to Mr. The guy that loves the prequels. I'm just kidding, of course. Mr. Colton, your thoughts on Phantom Menace?
Okay, so the Phantom Menace, like everyone, I was massively hyped up for it when it came out, and I actually got to see it as a birthday present. And back then, I really enjoyed it. Though I will admit, there was something that I couldn't put my finger on that kind of bugged me about the movies. And as an adult, I will admit that when it comes to the climate, everyone always talks about Jar Jar being the worst part of the movie, but I think okay, yes, he's annoying, but I actually think that since the characters actually don't put up with this foolishness, that's why I don't mind Jar Jar all that much. Since the other characters are like aware that he's annoying, it's not like they just kind of dismiss what he does as being dismiss everything about him. It's like, yes, we're aware you're annoying. And in the part where Qui-Gon grabs his tongue and says, "Will you stop doing that?" And okay, actually he says, "Don't do that again," but you know what I mean. And so yeah, I can let Jar Jar go. He's not that bad, and he's got a good heart. As for Jake Lloyd as Anakin, I actually didn't think he was that bad. It was a decent performance from a 9-year-old until the space battle, and that is when Anakin actually started to annoy me because he treated the entire situation like he was a kid with a new toy. He's like, "I'll try spinning. That's a good trick," and I'm like, "Anakin, you raced pods. You should be taking this fight seriously."
Who isn't annoyed by him when he says "Yippee"? I was like, oh.
Well, he's a kid. What do you expect? But aside from that, though, I didn't think he was that bad, and I actually do think the film is the Phantom Menace is still a fun adventure film. Like, it's got your action, it's got humor and yada yada, and of course the final battle between Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul. And what I liked most about that was it was probably the first instance where we really got to see, though the lightsaber fights in the episodes 4, 5, and 6 are probably, well, episode 5 has the best lightsaber battle ever, but by the same token, the saber fights were kind of starting to look kind of similar, so it was nice to see different types of lightsaber combat and whatnot during episode 1. And of course, we had Liam Neeson in that movie, and he can turn anything into gold and whatnot.
That's right.
Qui-Gon. And Natalie Portman, I'll admit, I was all right with her and Keira Knightley playing the Queen until the actual reveal that Padme is Queen Amidala, because something that it's like her performance is like there was kind of a sense of authority to her voice, but it was also pretty monotonous, I have to admit. So it's like, yeah, I admit, episode 1, I think it's fun, but I will also admit it's very, very flawed. But still, I'll take that movie any day over episode 2.
Yeah, I mean, listen, guys, y'all can't be hating on Jake Lloyd. He couldn't overcome his amazing performance in Jingle All the Way.
He was fine.
That film is all better.
Well, if it helps, Jake Lloyd doesn't act anymore, so hey.
No. All right. Moving on over to our newest member. All right, Alex, go ahead. Give me your thoughts on the Phantom Menace.
Well, I remember seeing it in theaters and let me think. I would have been like 7 at the time, I think. So I was pretty young when it came out, like, because I was born in '93, and then it came out in '99, so I was very young when it came out. But I don't really remember much from it. Because I didn't understand what the story, because I was so young. But when I got older, I watched it a lot more frequently than I did when I was younger, and actually I'm actually going to be honest here. I'm actually pretty neutral toward the film in overall. I'm actually like in the middle on it because it does have some good aspects to it. I will admit. My highlights for it would be like the pod racing sequence. I like that sequence a lot. That scene is very intense and very well done. I think. And also obviously the Darth Maul and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon fight at the end. That scene's is also very well done. Like Colton said, yeah, Jar Jar, yeah, he's annoying. I will admit that. But like Colton said, the fact that the characters acknowledge that makes me more okay with him in a way. If you get just because of that reason, because the characters are like, yeah, we know you're an idiot, So.
Okay.
Like you have to remember, it's like Qui-Gon himself said, the ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Okay, so you're neutral. Okay, so I mean,
yeah.
You're born in '93. So did you see this movie before the originals, or had you already seen the originals?
I think I saw the originals before. I think I saw the originals prior. So.
Okay. Cool.
It was years ago, so who knows?
Yeah. All right, moving over to Mike. Mike, give me your thoughts on Phantom Menace, bud.
Well, like everyone said, I mean, the greatest parts are probably the pod racing and the lightsaber battle. What I love most about the lightsaber battle is it really shows you the real strength of the Sith and the Jedi at the peak of their powers.
Yes.
I mean, in 4, 5, and 6, you saw a Jedi who was just learning how to be a Jedi, and you saw a Sith that was kind of getting, he was in his 50s, so he's not really in these half machines. So these are not at their peak. Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul are at their peak. They were, this shows you why a Jedi can take down an entire army.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, as for the negatives, the acting. I mean, beyond Qui-Gon and Ewan McGregor, Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor, who really, even they had their problems. Jake Lloyd, he was 9, so he wasn't a great actor, but he also didn't really have a whole lot to work with. Honestly, I put the blame squarely on George Lucas. If you read a fantastic book called How Star Wars Conquered the Universe, you can see that he wanted to get the effect shots perfect. That's why the pod race and the lightsaber battles are so fantastic. The rest of the stuff was all secondary to him. He didn't care about the acting. He could care less what they were doing on the set. He just, okay, give me a performance. Okay, great. Now, how does this look? I mean, how is this going to all? That's what he was That's what he was caring about, and you can tell.
It definitely shows the script and the acting was just atrocious. It looks great. But you can shine a turd him as much as you want. It's still going to be a turd. Come on now. So, all right, So that's it for Phantom Menace, guys. Like I said, honestly, it was one of the most disappointing films of my life. It just, when you get so hyped for something and it totally bombs. I mean, it's so disappointing, but whatever. So then we go to which, by far, in my opinion, is the worst film in the entire saga, which is Episode 2. Attack of the Clones. I mean, this movie is 1,000 times worse than Phantom Menace, and I already hate Phantom Menace. So, Paulie, try not to rant too much, try not to rage too much. Give me your thoughts on Episode 2.
Well, real quick regarding Episode 1, yeah, it may have sucked, but the fact that at the time when it came out, it was the second highest grossing movie in the world says something about it. But anyway. Yeah. Regarding Attack of the Clones, it's only a giant shit pile if you watch the film in its entirety. If you skip over all the bullshit Anakin Padme romance crap on Naboo, focus more on the Obi-Wan storyline, it's actually a halfway decent movie. Not to mention, again, the visuals, especially the Battle of Geonosis, the lightsaber battle, unfriggin' believably cool. And Yoda, who knew he could fight that well? So, again, amazing conclusion. Obi-Wan's storyline's really good, but I could totally do without the Anakin Padme bullshit.
You good?
Yeah, that's it. I'm just waiting for Tails.
Hey, Dennis, are you also sorry?
Yeah.
Sorry about
I'm
that,
good.
guys. My wife asked me something. All right, sorry. So moving on to Chris. Go ahead, Chris. Give me your thoughts. Give me all your negatives. I know there's like maybe one or two positives in this film. So go ahead, Chris.
2 positives. The effects and the action continue to still be amazing, but the negatives: acting, writing, directing, all flawed. I mean, even you would have thought that Lucas would have improved upon the Phantom Menace, but no, it just continues to see in the overtop cheese factory, and just like you just cringe at just the performances. You're just baffled. This is like, how does this man, not center on the performances of his actors? It's just god awful, and the dialogue. Don't get me started on the dialogue and Hayden Christensen's performance. Especially that scene where they're and like Padme's talking to him. It's all Obi-Wan's fault. He's jealous. He's holding me back. He's over
I'm the best Jedi in the world.
He's smart. I kill all of them, not just the men. It's just like, and I slaughter them like animals. I hate them. Shut the fuck up.
It sounds worse when you do it like that.
Oh my goodness! And glad they minimized Jar Jar's appearance. Oh my goodness, because Jar Jar was such an awful character in the Phantom Menace. And the love story between Padme and Anakin is just fucking dull and plotting. It's just so creepy. How he's been thinking about her all this time for about a decade. It's like that really can that can really unsettle a person. Like I said, the Geonosis battle sequence at the end is freaking fantastic. Most of the battle sequences in this movie are. As for Yoda, fighting, I'm kind of neutral on that. I mean, I don't know if it was good or bad to see him, take on the bad guys. Of course, in this case, Count Dooku, played by the late great Christopher Lee. I mean, I guess I'm neutral on that. I mean, I'm really uncertain. But Attack of the Clones, undoubtedly the worst movie in the Star Wars franchise.
Absolutely, man. I mean, Hayden Christensen, man. George, what the fuck were you thinking? What? Really? I mean, yeah, the dialogue is fucking atrocious. All right, moving on to Colton. Now, Colton, please tell me that you hate this movie as much as we do. Please.
It's my least favorite movie in the entire series. Actually, I'm actually noticing a pattern with the Star Wars with the Star Wars trilogies. In the first trilogy, Empire Strikes Back was my least favorite, and then in Well, not anymore, but when I was growing up, it was my least favorite. And then when the prequel trilogy came out, Attack of the Clones is my least favorite. So I guess Episode 8 is going to be my least favorite when the new trilogy comes out. But it's a long story. Like Empire. Well, I just didn't like how overly depressing the whole thing was. But as I've grown older, I now appreciate the depression factor. But getting back to Attack of the Clones, yeah, it was the romance between Anakin and Padme. I always wanted to fast forward past that, even when I was little, and I was the total Star Wars fanatic. So for me to actually want to skip over part of a Star Wars film was a problem. But on the other hand, when it came to Hayden Christensen, I don't think he was that awful. I think he was at his best when he was with Ewan McGregor because, well, okay, I've ruined all my credibility, I know, but I feel like Hayden, he actually looks like a guy that you could... he looks like a guy that you could go out and have a drink with, and he seemed pretty likable, more or less. He seemed pretty likable at first. When the movie started off, he would look like he was a cocky Jedi Knight, looked like the kind of person that could easily fall victim to the dark side because he was very full of himself when it came to his abilities, and at times I actually could understand why he would, well, fall victim to the dark side, because, well, first there was that scene where he slaughtered all the sand people. I actually thought that was a very well done scene, and I'm thinking, George, where was all this drama when you needed it? Because, like, the entire scene, it was pretty depressing. Seeing Shmi just die like that after Anakin wanted to come back and free her made their final goodbye scene in The Phantom Menace pretty sad now, and I also think that Christensen is a pretty decent physical actor, because he looked legitimately pissed off when Anakin just as his mom died, and the one thing I liked the most about that scene was that it was one of the few times in the entire prequel trilogy where Lucas had anything resembling subtlety. Like Anakin didn't shout at or anything; he just looked straight at the camera and then bam, lightsaber ignited and then dead sand people. So I'm thinking, damn.
Yeah, I'll get into a little more detail about that when we get to Revenge of the Sith, but I agree with you on that, Colton.
Yeah. So after that sequence, aside from that, my favorite parts of the movie was the Obi-Wan storyline. And the fact that it was the B plot kind of makes it worse because you're wondering why Anakin isn't a part of that. Like, since Anakin and Obi-Wan were tasked with protecting Padme and all that, I guess you think they would have kept her close to them rather than just sending Anakin off on his own with Padme and all that jazz. And the stuff with the clone troopers, I really enjoyed that. And the Battle of Geonosis was epic. It's like George really knows how to put on a show when it comes to action and spectacle and whatnot. And the scene where it looked like the Jedi were all going to get killed by the battle droids, I was thinking, I had no idea what to think since I was a kid, and I don't know. But when Padme says look, and then the cavalry arrives, I'm like, yes, that was awesome. And the way the battle of Geonosis started was also cool. At first, Mace Windu shows up, says this party's over, and then Count Dooku says we'll see. And then seeing the super battle droid show up, it actually had a decent amount of build up to it. And then seeing the rest of the Jedi going into action, that was also a pretty big highlight of my Star Wars life. Seeing as we've only really seen, up until now, we've only seen a few Jedi in action here or there. So seeing an army of them, that was badass. So those are my thoughts on Attack of the Clones. I'm not a fan of the Anakin and Padme stuff. This is not the drama George Lucas was looking for, but it still had a few redeeming factors. But I can take this movie or leave it.
Okay. I mean, I hear you on some. Listen, that battle was amazing. But, yeah, just other than that, all right, going over to the new guy. Alex, go ahead, bud. Your thoughts on Attack of the Clones.
Alrighty, so, now, obviously I wouldn't be on this podcast if I didn't like Star Wars, obviously. But this film is the only film in the entire saga so far that I can honestly say that I am not a fan of. Because it's just, the Anakin and Padme storyline, like everyone has said, is very painful to watch. It just makes me roll my eyes every time I watch it. It's so badly done. And acting-wise, yes, the acting was bad, but I really don't know if I can say for sure whether or not it's really the actor's fault. I feel like it was because the writing was so bad. That's why. Yes?
I agree.
That's why it was so bad. It's because you can't judge an actor based on what they say. You can only judge them on how they say it. If the material they're not given isn't good enough, then obviously the performance is going to be bad. Seeing, like, some of my I like Jango Fett. He was a good aspect of it. I liked his character. His character was cool. I thought, and it was cool to see like Boba Fett's beginnings, and then when we see him in the original trilogy, we finally it was cool to see that how that story began. But the Battle of Geonosis, yeah, that was pretty cool to watch. Like, yeah, it was a visual eye candy. As for seeing Yoda in action, I actually thought that was pretty cool. I remember when I was a kid, I was blown away by that because like it was really cool to see him in action. This was the first time that we had ever seen him do anything outside of talking. It was like it was cool to see. I have to say, I mean, and obviously Christopher Lee, rest in peace, Mr. Rest in Peace. But he made a good villain. I thought he was a good villain overall. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. But overall, I'm not really fond of it overall.
He always plays a good villain.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, good. I like it. All right, moving on to Mike. Mike, go ahead and give me your thoughts on episode 2.
Yeah, I hate to rehash on everything that everybody already said, but I kind of do have to. I mean, the Battle of Geonosis is a great spot. The Yoda Dooku battle, I thought, was a very pleasant surprise, and it was definitely the high point of that movie for me. I mean, for me, again, it goes back to George Lucas. He is not a good actor's director. I mean, when he has like something big, a big battle scene to direct and lots of special effects, he is fantastic. He's awesome. He knows how to do all the visuals. But when he's just got a person, or people around, he's trying to direct them how to, you just get stale dialogue. You get bad script, right? I mean, I've seen Hayden Christensen in a couple of other things. He's not a great actor, but I think he is better than he was in that movie. I mean, Natalie Portman, Academy Award level actress right there, and even she was really bad in this movie. So I mean, you can't say it was all on the actors. They were just given utter crap to read, and they were given no direction on how to speak it. So I mean. But I mean, every single scene that Hayden Christensen is talking with Natalie Portman is like, "Wow, you're like the biggest stalker in the galaxy, aren't you?" Every single look he gives her is just, "Yeah, hi, I've been watching you. I'm gonna steal your underwear tonight." Like, oh no.
Okay, he's not Edward Coleman, Mike.
He kind of has that whole stalkerish feel. Come on.
I like watching you sleep.
Yeah. Plus, the whole scene on the boat where he's like, if you feel the way I feel, and she's like, no, we can't. She's dressed in like leather bondage gear.
You're inviting him into bed. Come on.
Like, my face says no, but my body says.
Yes.
This is taking a bit of a creepy turn. Can we move on?
Yeah. Okay, that's it from me.
All right. So, moving on to episode 3, which I guess you could say is my favorite of the prequels. I thought this one had a lot of redeeming qualities. Still not great in my opinion, but still a solid movie. And I would actually call it a Star Wars movie. Unlike the first two, this one pretty good. So I'll probably give me your thoughts on episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, I mean, this is hands down the best of the prequels, bar none. I mean, is it as good as the originals? No, but it's still the best one of the prequels. I mean, like you said, Caleb, this is a Star Wars movie. I mean, the writing was slightly improved. The acting was much improved. There were some incredible moments. The scene with Palpatine and Anakin in the theater, and Palpatine, the Chancellor Palpatine tells him the story of Darth Plagueis and everything. And there are several moments where Hayden Christensen just shines in this movie. A key moment is the scene in the Senate for learning that Palpatine is the Darth Sidious. he's looking out the window, contemplating the future. You see this highlight of him and Padme kind of staring at each other, and he doesn't say one word, but just the look on his face. You can feel his emotion. Everything he's thinking, everything he's feeling, he shows it without him saying a word. And that's why I feel that, Hayden Christensen just needs to keep his mouth shut. Like, if he was doing silent movies, if this guy did a silent movie, he could win an Oscar. He has that kind of talent. He just needs to keep his mouth shut. But aside from that, yeah, Hayden Christensen shines there, and then Ewan McGregor's stellar as always. General Grievous is pretty nice too. But the action, again, it's just unbelievable. And the final battle, Anakin against Obi-Wan, not only is that the best fight scene in the Star Wars saga, but in my honest-to-God opinion, it is the greatest fight scene in cinema history. Nothing tops it. And I've seen a lot of fight scenes, but that is hands down the best fight scene I've ever seen. So,
wow.
There's a lot of negative to say about Revenge of the Sith. It was a solid movie.
Yes, words. I mean, I wouldn't even put it as the best in the saga, but again, it's your opinion, so I mean, I respect your opinion. So, okay, wow. Okay. All right, Chris, moving on down. Your thoughts on Episode 3, bud? Revenge of the Sith.
Well, this is a marked improvement. It is a big leap in quality over the prequels. The previous two prequels. This is the final installment of the prequel trilogy. George Lucas is still not the biggest actor director in the world, but he just brings together some meticulously crafted sequences in this movie. The highlight of these three prequels is Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, of course, he's just like, he just, embodied, everything we love about that character is, of course, there are certain Al Guinness mannerisms here, of course, but yeah, of course, Hayden Christensen, slightly improved, but still not all that terrific. Nonetheless, and the same goes for Natalie Portman, but the movie is just overwhelmingly dark. It's just like, and it's just downbeat. It's just it's not. It doesn't take the mantle from Empire Strikes Back as the best Star Wars movie, but still, it is a well done film. Very well done. Some of these sequences are just marvelously edited, including that sequence where Anakin goes to the Jedi Temple and begins the Jedi Purge, the Great Jedi Purge, as it were. And of course, I like how they edited the lightsaber battles between the duel between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and the one between Yoda and Sidious. That really shows off Lucas's skills as a great editor in the retrospect. It's the richest movie. It's not as rich as Empire Strikes Back. It's more operatic and not as operatic as Empire, but it just like. It seems that George Lucas has learned his lesson in regards to his failings on the prequels. It's like is it the masterpiece? No, but it's a damn good film overall.
Speaking of learning lessons from the prequels, Jar Jar's total screen time in this movie is like 3 seconds.
I was gonna say 3 seconds.
He has one line, which is "excuse me."
No, he has no lines in that movie.
He has one line actually, and don't think you'll miss it. But he says "excuse me" like really, really quickly when an alien says "watch it." He's like "excuse me." And that's all we hear from him.
Thank God, we can all be happy for that. Okay, Chris. Okay. All right, Colton, go ahead, man. Give me your thoughts on Episode 3, please.
All right, when Episode 3 came out, I was beyond hyped once again because, well, I hadn't learned my lesson yet. But, well, I saw the movie like 5 times in theaters, and I have to admit, when it comes to Episode 3, how you look at it depends on if you count the miniseries that came out in between Episode 2 and 3 as canon or not. Because I feel like that series actually improved on a lot of the problems of Attack of the Clones. Like Anakin really cleans up his act, and he has a lot of legitimately intense moments, and you can understand why he's very disobedient of Obi-Wan and whatnot. But in Episode 3, it's not really clear if any of that. If you didn't see that series, you wouldn't really understand certain things that were going on in Episode 3. I guess you could say, like, why Anakin really is upset about the Jedi not trusting him, because you wouldn't know about any of it. But that being said, Episode 3, I really enjoyed. Well, okay, let me list my negatives. Yes, once again, some of the romantic dialogue between Anakin and Padme can come across as very awkward, like when he's saying, when he says, "No, because I'm so in love with you," and she's like, "So love has blinded you?" And I'm
What
thinking,
kind of bullshit was that?
what?
Oh my god.
It's like, I don't know.
So clumsily written. Oh my god.
It's like, Lucas, you're trying too hard, okay? I mean, but I will admit, George had a lot, and because of that, and Anakin, it also feels like Anakin almost goes to the dark side too quickly, unless you count the micro series as canon. Because sometimes I feel like it sort of works, but I also feel like it kind of doesn't. Like Anakin seems really pissed off in this movie when the Jedi aren't trusting him, and then he decides to betray them. And he's like, "Oh my god, what have I done?" Oh, by the way, look at his face when he says, "What have I done?" after Mace Windu has been killed. That was actually a very good facial expression. And I'm thinking, Hayden, if you acted more like that throughout the movie, we wouldn't be making fun of you as often as we do, Because there are times where you actually manage to pull something off. But then after that, Anakin seems to legitimately seemingly buying the fact that the Jedi are evil, and I'm thinking, Anakin, why are you buying the Emperor's lies? I mean, on one hand, you kind of have a right to be upset, but by the same token, I don't know where to go. It's very hard for me to put my feelings in this into words. But still, I think the acting was right where it counted. Like when Anakin gets burned and shouts out, "I hate you," you really do feel the anger in his voice. And Obi-Wan says, "You're my brother, Anakin. I loved you." And then he leaves him there. Oh, also, by the way, the scene where Obi-Wan actually picks down and grabs Anakin's lightsaber as he leaves, I think that was a pretty good. I liked that because it was a good attention to detail on Lucas's part. He could have easily forgotten to actually have Obi-Wan get Anakin's lightsaber, which would have made another plot hole in Episode 4. So, yeah, like that. And the battle itself, while it could get a little plotting at times, it was still very well choreographed. And the fact that Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen were just that good at lightsaber fighting at that point makes it even more badass. And once again, George Lucas knows how to put on a show with all of his action scenes. And the last few minutes of the movie were Padme's funeral. I'm thinking, George, this is the drama you have been looking for, because I really felt devastated. And the part where we see that Padme actually has the necklace that Anakin made her back in Episode 1, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're really tugging at the heartstrings now, George. Where was all this work? Where was all this drama when you needed it in Episodes 1 and 2? And then seeing Darth Vader and the Emperor looking out at the Death Star in the distance while Governor Tarkin was also with them, and then seeing then Padme, wait a minute. Also, the scene where where Darth Vader we finally see Vader again in the suit for the first time in years and get to hear James Earl Jones's voice. That was great. I mean, sure, there's the big no, but I can let that go, okay? It could be worse. And let's see here. I think that might be everything I have to say. Of course, the fight scene between Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Dooku was also pretty cool, and I like the part where Obi-Wan says, "This time we'll do it together," and Anakin's like, "Oh, I was about to say that." Mm-hmm. I actually think that, Anakin, I think he did largely clean up his act mostly in this movie when, like I said, he's at his best when he's with Ewan McGregor. Like, I wish Hayden Christensen the best in the future. I hope he manages to get cast in better movies with directors that can really actually pull off something can really direct them into a good performance, because I feel really bad for the guy with all the times he gets made fun of, because it feels like people don't separate the performance from the actor and act like Hayden himself is just a legitimate creep or something like that, So those are my thoughts.
Okay, all right. Mike, you're up, bud. Give me your thoughts on Episode 3.
All right. Well, again, if you read the fantastic book How Star Wars Conquered the Universe, you'll learn that the reason that this movie is so much better acted is because people like Francis Ford Coppola and all of George Lucas's friends begged him to get them an acting coach. He finally, because I mean honestly, Colton, you were saying that George Lucas kind of learned his lesson. He actually hadn't, because he had, all he saw was the box office numbers, saw that they were really high. He's like, okay, I guess people must be liking what I'm doing, and maybe not so much. But his peers were finally like, get them an acting coach, please. So he did, and you saw a marked improvement. It wasn't a fantastic movie as far as acting goes, but it was much better than the other two. Again, the action sequences, the whole fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin, combined with the fight between Yoda and Sidious. I mean, you got the two most, the absolute pinnacle of the light side versus the absolute pinnacle of the dark side, and then you've got the duel of really the fates with Anakin and Obi-Wan. It was beautifully done. Some of the dialogue, especially the Anakin's "I hate you." I understand why he said it. It kind of came off as kind of whiny. He's being burned alive, but I hate you. Yeah. I think. But, you and McGregor's, you and my brother Anakin. That line is actually very, very powerful for me. I thought that was very well done. You can never. There's a reason why people, out of all of the prequels, Ewan McGregor is the one thing people would love to see come back, and I agree.
Right. Okay, cool.
To be fair, regarding that line from Hayden Christensen, I think Kevin Smith said it the best. Like, people are thinking, wow, how could the galaxy's greatest villain start off as a whiny teenager? Like, well, that's who the galaxy's greatest villain would have started off as. He would have been this kid with emo issues.
Right, okay.
So, in that point.
I think I actually skipped over you, Alex. I'm sorry. You were out and now you're back in. So,
that's all right.
Give me your thoughts on episode 3, man.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. This is my actually favorite of the prequel films because it's actually very well done, unlike the first two. It has a lot of really good moments in it. General Grievous, man, if it weren't for Darth Vader, he would be my #1 villain of the whole series. But I love the design of him. I love the voice actor for him. He's just a perfect villain for me. Like he has this demeanor to him that it just works for me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Moving on from that, Hayden Christensen, yes, his acting was slightly improved over episode 2. It was still a little questionable in some parts, but overall he was a lot better in this one than in episode 2. Obviously, Ewan McGregor was good as always, and actually, like one of you said earlier, I did feel like he was channeling Alec Guinness a lot in this film. Which is a hard thing for an actor to do, is to channel another actor like that. That's a really hard thing to do. So I give props to Ewan McGregor for that. The Duel of Fates at the end with Obi-Wan and Anakin is very epic. It's very well done. It's like words can't even describe how amazing it is how epic it is. And everything like that. But definitely the best of the prequel trilogy, for sure.
Okay, cool, awesome. So here we go.
Caleb, I have to go now, so I'll see you guys all later.
Oh, I was gonna come to you real quick, Colin. I so that you could give your thoughts real quick on episode 4.
Okay, episode 4, like I said, it's my favorite movie of all time. I feel like, compared to episodes 5 and 6, it's definitely not as impressive, but I also feel like we just taken our step into like Obi-Wan said, we just taken our first step into a much larger world, and you can tell it's a movie that was made by a guy that loves movies. I mean, all the homages are perfect, and the dogfights are great, and I think the special edition isn't as bad as people make it out to be. Sure, there's the whole infamous Han shot first thing, but by the same token, the Death Star assault, the shots are actually more impressive, I think. Like, one time I watched a side-by-side comparison of the Death Star assault between the original version and the special edition, and the original actually has some pretty stilted shots, actually. As a matter of fact, the scene where the X-Wings take off, where the Rebels take off from Yavin 4, always see a bunch of colored lights flying in the original version, whereas in the special edition, we actually see them take off. But granted, there are some issues, like like George went a little too far trying to make Mos Eisley seem like it was a spaceport, and of course the whole Han shot burst thing, which is actually, it's less that Han shot burst and more like Greedo spontaneously combusted, But since we don't actually see Han's laser blast, it's more like it's just cuts to Greedo blowing up after he's been shot. But still, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, C-3PO, R2-D2, Luke, these are like the most, Chewbacca, these are some of the most iconic characters of all time. And the funny thing about Vader is that he actually has someone actually pointed out to me that he has a very limited amount of screen time, but you wouldn't really know that because, well, that's just how well he's handled in this movie. And the best thing about it, of course, is the way it starts. It's like, we're in the middle of the conflict, but it doesn't really feel like that affects the storytelling because they do a good job setting everything up regardless. And like just seeing the Star Destroyer pursuing the Tantive 4, George has apparently gone on record saying that if he can get the audience with the very first scene, he knows he'll have them for the rest of the movie. George, you succeeded. And like, despite the flaws of the prequels, I will always love you for giving us Episode 4 A New Hope. And very quickly, despite what I said about Episode 5, not liking Episode 5, I was a kid back then, and I really understand how Episode 5 is a superior film to Episode 4 now that I'm older and get, filmmaking and whatnot, because the characters in Episode 4 are kind of stock, but in Episode 5, they get better, they get more defined personalities, like Vader being a bad boss and killing anyone whenever they fail him for the last time. The Force is we get a better understanding of the Force. Like in the first movie, it was more of a vaguely defined energy field that combines us and penetrates us and binds all living things together and whatnot. Then the midichlorians came in, but that's another story. But in Episode 5, we have Yoda, who gives us a better understanding of it. And the scene where he lifts the X-Wing out of the swamp, and Luke says he can't believe it, and then Yoda's like, "That is why you fail." And that was another great thing about the movie, is that it taught us the value of patience. And that all that training paid off, I think, as when we see Luke in Episode 6, he's almost like an entirely different person, and he can actually match Vader word for word when he tries to tempt Luke to the dark side. And I'm very proud of Luke in this movie. And of course, there's the Emperor. He used to scare the crap out of me as a kid, so he was just he's hammy in this movie, but it was more of a subdued hand, if you will. And the Ewoks aren't as bad as they're made out to be. They're annoying, but, they're not Jar Jar. And of course, the lightsaber duel in Episode 5 is my favorite lightsaber duel in the entire franchise, even more than Obi-Wan and Anakin in Episode 3. Like, the way that Vader is just toying with Luke for the entire time, that is just... the fact that, even though Vader is toying with Luke, it still felt like a legitimate fight. And of course, there is the very famous, spoiler alert, "I am your father." I mean, everyone's jaws had to have dropped when that reveal happened, and I wish I could have seen it originally happening back in 1980. When did the movie come out?
1980.
Yeah, back in 1980. I mean, that's one of the best twists in movie history. But alas, I have to get up early for work tomorrow, so I will see you all later. It's been fun chatting with you guys, and hope you guys enjoy the rest. Have a good chat otherwise, and live long and prosper.
Okay, all right. This is not Star Trek. You should have been here for the Star Trek one.
All right. Okay, you know what? All right, Colton, it was good to see you. Now, let's move on. All right, Paulie, go ahead. Give me your thoughts. Episode 4. We're probably going to talk a lot more positives this time because, again, we are on, the much better films. Though, real quick, I give my thoughts. I kind of feel Episode 4 is a little overrated. Y'all can hate on me. Y'all can say whatever you want. I don't care. I just do. I just think if you compare it to 5 and 6, it's not even close. Listen, it's the greatest setup movie for the greatest payoff of all time. Like, this movie does so much setup that, 5 and 6, paid off so well. That I don't think it's like as great as everyone says it is. I mean, listen, I love the movie. I mean, I absolutely love the movie. Like, I watched it 8 times. But I just think, I'd rather watch like a 5 and 6. And I just don't think that they're not mentioned as much as like 4 is. So so all right, Paulie, go ahead. Give me your thoughts on episode 4, please. And it's Star Wars. It's not A New Hope.
Mhm.
Get that shit out of here. So. Go ahead, Paulie.
Yeah, episode 4 is just it's a fantastic movie. I mean, yeah, it's I can understand why you would think it might be the weakest of the original trilogy, Caleb, in terms of like anything. But I mean, in terms of like, but I mean, yeah, it's an absolutely phenomenal movie. We get introduced to these unbelievable characters, heroes and villains on both sides. I mean, it's everything about it is just so magical, so incredible. First, getting that glimpse of that galaxy far, far away. I mean, it's just a magical movie, and you get sucked into right from the beginning. I don't really have anything negative to say about it. I absolutely love it. And commenting on something that Colton said regarding the special edition, I actually happen to agree with him about it. That the whole Han shot first is bullshit. I agree. Han shot first. Everyone remember that. Han shot first.
He did.
And Jabba the Hutt was like, I think they could have done without him, but I mean, the improved special effects, especially the final battle. Yeah, you know what? I'll admit it. I like it. And I like it even better than the original. I can admit that, it's no problem. But some of the things in special edition were okay. Well, everything else, some of the others kind of sucked. But yeah, episode 4, I absolutely love it. New Hope is amazing. Star Wars episode 4, the one that started it all.
Absolutely. All right, Chris, go ahead, but give us your thoughts on episode 4.
Okay. I mean, these 3 films, of course, this one mostly have, just like when I saw them, like when I was small, they thrill me beyond words, especially this movie. It's just like from the opening shot to this, like being bestowed medals. How could you not love this movie? Yes, people say it's overrated. But hell, this is a spectacular movie. This is a movie that changed film history. Cinematic antecedents. Like Birth of a Nation, Citizen Kane, so forth and so on. They introduced new ways of telling a story on film, but Star Wars presented a quantum leap miles ahead. They introduced computerized, they introduced a new way how to do special effects. They developed something called, they developed motion control, method of motion control photography just by having it be computer controlled, and the sound is just out of this world. Ben Burtt is just like, Ben Burtt's the sound designs are just fucking incredible. It's just like, as for the cast of this movie, it's a pretty decent cast. Luke Skywalker is kind of likable as Mark Hamill's kind of looks likable as Luke Skywalker. Pictures perfectly sassy as Princess Leia, but the greatest Star Wars character of all time, Han Solo, man, Harrison Ford, he absolutely sells it as this complete badass. It's just like, and of course with Chewie and everyone, and of course Darth Vader, probably one of the greatest villains of all time. It's just like, it seems kind of conventional in the storytelling, but that's one of the appeals about it. It's simplicity and its purity. It's just like this is a feel-good movie. It's a movie that changed movies forever, man. It's just like it's absolutely one on my list, probably my top 5 of the greatest movies, of my favorite movies of all time. It's just tremendous. How much I love this movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool, Chris. Thank you. All right, Alex, go ahead and give me your thoughts on episode 4.
Well, I think everyone else already covered it, but what can I say? It's a masterpiece, It's just, it has the most iconic film score out of any film.
Williams.
Like it's one of those film scores where you can play it, and you don't even have to have ever even seen the film, and you know exactly what it is. It's Star Wars right off the bat without even having seen the movie. That's how much of an impact this film had, that's how much of an impact it had, and it has iconic characters in it, It has iconic sets. It has iconic costumes. Just everything about the film screams iconic. Like, that's just the kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I got you, man. I got you. Okay. All right, Mike. It's on you, man. Give me your thoughts on it.
All right. Yeah. I mean, this is by far my favorite movie of all time. I actually agree about the special editions. There were a couple of editions that didn't need to be made, but I mean, the overall enhancement of the graphics, the special effects, the visuals. I mean, that alone makes it a worthwhile thing. And I must say, Han did not shoot first.
Huh? Fuck you!
No,
He shot first!
if I may, Greedo never shot. How
Yes,
did he shoot first if Greedo never shot? So all those Han shot first T-shirts, no, they're all wrong. It's just say Greedo never shot. All right.
Okay.
I got you. Nice.
But yeah, I mean, the dialogue is not great because again, Lucas was never good at writing dialogue. But the thing is, with that movie, since that was kind of not really his first movie, but one of his first movies, so people were like Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher. They were all willing to say, "Yeah, I'm not going to read that like that. I'm going to do my own dialogue." And with the prequels, everyone was like, what George Lucas says is the Bible. You can't go against that. So no one was willing to say no to him. Here, Harrison Ford has been on record multiple times saying, "Yeah, I can't read this shit. I'm gonna, give my own take on it." And that's why it's better dialogue, especially from Han Solo. Han Solo is the Batman. Is the Batman to Luke Skywalker's Superman.
If I remember correctly, isn't the I know line, when Leia says, I love you, and then Han says, I know, wasn't that all ad-libbed?
Yes, it was. They'll talk about that a little later.
To a certain extent, yeah.
Yeah.
He was supposed to say "I love you" too to her, but it didn't seem right to Irvin Kershner, so he said just try something else, and then he came up with that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. So that's what I'm saying. Like people, a lot of the actors were able to kind of ad lib and saying kind of got freestyle with their own lines. Think, let's try this here because I think it sounds better. In the prequels, it's like, okay, George, yeah, George, all right, George. It's like no. These were established actors, for the most part.
I mean, Alec Guinness and who played Tarkin?
Peter Cushing.
Yeah, I mean, both Academy Award level actors. So I think that they had a better say than George Lucas did at the time.
Right. Okay, cool. Now let's move on to my favorite of the entire series, Episode 5. The Empire Strikes Back. This is easily in my top 3 films of all time. It's not even close. So yeah, go ahead, Paulie. Lead us off. Episode 5. I know it's your least favorite, and just so everyone knows, this is Paul's least favorite because the bad guy.
Don't spoil it. Let me talk.
Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. I have a confession to make. As a child, I hated this movie. I hated it with a fucking passion, and the reason was because the Empire won. As a 5-year-old, I'm thinking, that cannot happen. The bad guys are never supposed to win. Good must always triumph. So that's why I hated that movie, and to an extent, I have carried that belief into adulthood. And for that reason, The Empire Strikes Back is my least favorite of the original trilogy.
Paul, you weren't alone.
Okay. I'm glad to know that. But yeah, that being said, very well written. The characters are much better fleshed out. Yoda, seeing Yoda for the first time, he's amazing. Darth Vader is still the ultimate badass in the galaxy. And, seeing Cloud City was a spectacular. Billy D. Williams is Lando Calrissian. How can you not love that guy? He's so much fun, so conniving. You don't know where he is. I mean, he's just such a fun character to be around. And then, the dread surrounding it, the big reveal of "I am your father," the most misquoted line of all time. That's it right there. Everyone says, "Luke, I am your father." He never says, he's like, "No, I am your father." And those are the words. It's not Luke, I am your father. That line is so misquoted all the time, and it's such a laugh. I get such a laugh when people misquote, like, you're saying it wrong. You're saying it wrong. But, I love that. And regarding that scene with the Carbonite scene, the original dialogue was Leia says, "I love you," and Han says, "I love you too." Irvin Kershner shot a few times. He's like, "This is not working." So he says to Harrison, "Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Just do it. Action." And that's what he came up with, "I know." And as soon as he said it, every girl in America fell in love with Han Solo. Like, that's it. And even Kershner said, "Yeah, that's Han Solo right there."
Yep.
So yeah, great movie, but still my least favorite of the original trilogy.
Okay. All right, Chris, go ahead and give me your thoughts on Episode 5.
Okay, Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. I kind of feel with you, Caleb. I feel this film does not get as much notice as it should. It is as iconic as the original Star Wars. It does have some great facets about it. It's just like the characters are better fleshed out. The storyline is a little bit more interesting and ambitious. The tone is just dark and downbeat. It's just like the heroes are just beaten and battered. What I like about it is the balance between action and humor, because this could have been it is a gloomy movie without those lighter moments. I felt it would have been a less powerful film to me. Falling on top, when it first came out, Empire did not. It got a mixed reaction. People were not thrilled overall with the whole story. I think they found it. They just found it. I guess they were a little baffled, I guess, by it. I'm not really sure. I think they criticized the middle of the story plot. This is like I feel it's a much more visually impressive movie. Just like the imagination behind it is incredible. The Imperial Walkers are just like terrifying to watch. It's just like I just love the concept behind it, and Dagobah, just like that's just a wonderful. It's just a wonderful creation in itself. It's just a wonderful sight. Of course, Cloud City. If anyone sees the Flash Gordon series, which Lucas was inspired by, you see the second serial, Flash Gordon's Trip to Mars. There's an actual city of that sort in those movies. Of course, It's just like the characterizations are vastly, and the writing is just vastly improved. And one of the great assets of this movie is Lawrence Kasdan. His writing on this movie is just wonderful. It's just he really adds to these characters, and it's he's just wonderful in this movie. Of course, one of the great all-time twists in movie history, Luke, I am your father. I remember his reaction in 1980 when that happened. It's just like that completely changed the Empire. It changed Star Wars 180. I don't know if it can get as good as that. The prequels the sequel trilogy has a lot to live up to. Especially the first movie, and in terms of this movie, with that jaw-dropping twist, that was a huge bombshell. And then that movie was released today with the instant information overload that we had. It probably would have gone out a lot sooner than we anticipated, But yeah, it's just like, but one of my favorite scenes in this movie, and one of the moments that makes the Star Wars trilogy so magical to me, is the scene where Yoda lifts the X-wing out of the swamp. That is just an all-sparring and jaw-dropping scene. This is like it's just like and it's just probably one of the defining moments in the series to me. And I love the exchange between them when Luke says, "I don't believe it," and he says, "That is why you fail." That's Zen Buddhism. That's Zen wisdom for you folks. Oh my goodness. But yeah,
Cool.
yeah, and it has one of the great movie cliffhangers of all time. It's just like Empire Strikes Back. It's just like it's to me the best. Of course, it's the best out of the trilogy. It's like it's just
I'm with you, man.
cinematic entertainment. You know.
I'm totally with you. Okay, then thank you, Chris. Thank you. All right, moving on over to Alex. Alex, go ahead, man. Give your thoughts on episode 5.
All right. Well, this is my favorite. This is also my favorite of the entire franchise so far. The characters are better fleshed out. Just the tone of the film is a lot darker, and I like when a lot of franchises do that. Like the first, like when the first movie in the franchise is very lighthearted and full of a lot of energy, and then as the franchise goes on, it gets darker and darker and darker. I like franchises like that, and Star Wars is no exception to that rule. But I like that it fleshes out the characters more. Like it actually, and when we start to, I mean, they kind of did a little bit of a love triangle in this one, but it wasn't very dominant. Like it was there, but it wasn't really like it wasn't like the main factor of the story. But I liked how there was a little bit of a love triangle between Han, Luke, and Leia. But obviously, when Return of the Jedi came out, we obviously realized that there really wasn't a love triangle at all. But,
How awkward! It's his own sister. Oh my goodness.
Right, exactly. That's what I mean. But it it actually Darth Vader, man. He was just he is the pinnacle of a movie villain to me. He's my favorite film character of all time. So out of any sort of media, video game, anything, he's my favorite character out of anything. So I love the way he's handled in this film. Like he's very cruel, but it's just I don't really know how to put it into words. I just love the guy so much. That's what's so weird about it is I shouldn't love the guy, but I do. But yeah, it's my favorite. It's my favorite in the franchise, definitely.
It's the cake.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Alex. Thank you, Mike. Go ahead, man. Give me your thoughts on episode 5, please.
All right. Well, like Paul, when I first saw this one, it kind of traumatized me as a kid. And that's. I mean, it's kind of like. Now I recognize it as the superior film, but there's still a bit of a traumatic experience about it. It's kind of like Star Trek Episode 2. I recognize it is the best film of all of the Star Trek movies, but
amen.
Dude, those worms going into the ears, God, no. Yeah. But anyway, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back. Come on. It's just a fantastic film. It shows how good Star Wars can be when George Lucas decides to let someone else take his characters. I mean, he did the initial storybook, story writing, but then he gave it to Lawrence Kasdan and a few other. I forget her name.
Lee Brackett.
Yeah, Lee Brackett. Yeah, and she unfortunately passed away like days after handing in her version, which God rest her soul. But and then so Lawrence Kasdan decided to write it. George Lucas decided to pull back from the directing chair, which turned out better for everyone as well. And I mean, you got introduced to some of the best characters. Best secondary characters. I mean, you got Lando, Colt 45, Calrissian. You got Yoda and his do or do not, there is no try, which, however, do or do not, there is no try, that's an absolute statement. And as we learned from episode 30, only Siths speak in absolute, which is also an absolute statement. I think Obi-Wan kind of overstepped his boundaries there. But
Yeah.
I mean the whole the whole Cloud City again special edition. I think this one is probably the best because there really wasn't any major improvement. I mean they opened up Cloud City. They added a little bit more tension with the Wampa ice creature, and they just improved the special effects overall. And they really didn't add anything. So I think,
Yeah, they did.
huh? Well,
Yes,
nothing,
the Emperor.
which I think was beneficial.
Yeah,
Because I mean, you can never have too much Ian McDiarmid. Come on.
No way. Nope.
But I mean, just all in all, it's a great movie. Just not my favorite because it kind of mentally traumatized me.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to the last film of this trilogy. In the end, for obviously a long time until this year, Episode 6. I mean, let's just Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. I mean, it's one of those things. I just think I feel like it wraps up this trilogy so amazing, and it's the perfect end to it, and for us to start our new, adventure. So, Paulie, I know it's your favorite, so go ahead and give us your thoughts, bud.
Absolutely. I mean, not only is Star Wars Episode 6 like my favorite film in like the entire saga, but in all honesty, it is my all-time favorite movie. I absolutely love Return of the Jedi. I mean, I love everything about it. The writing is at its best. The character development is at its best. Seeing Lando back getting introduced to Jabba all the time. Just the action is superb. From the battles and epic clash in space to the battle between Luke and Vader, Luke and the Emperor, just like everything about this film is perfect in every way. I cannot find anything negative to say about Return of the Jedi, except for the special edition Jabba's dance scene. It's like, okay, the creatures were just fine on their own with the puppeteering. They looked amazing with puppeteering. Did you have to CGI the shit out of them, George? You
no, you didn't. It was
No,
bad.
they looked fine the way they were. Don't change it. But other than that, and that was the special edition. Oh, another thing about the special edition I didn't like. Why'd you take away the Ewok song, George? What the hell is your problem? Why did you take away the Ewok song? Yup. Come on, George. Like, I'll admit seeing all the cities in the galaxy celebrating the defeat of the Empire, that was nice, seeing the celebration, but I'm sorry, that music just sucks. Give me the Ewok song anytime. Come on. So, other than that, yeah, Return of the Jedi is a perfect movie. I love it. Absolutely. My all-time favorite movie.
All right. Okay. I see. Okay. All right, Chris. Go ahead and give me your thoughts on Episode 6.
Well, definitely a weaker installment of the trilogy. It wraps everything up in a neat fashion, I feel. I mean, yes, the plot is to retread of the first Star Wars movie. We're trying to blow up another Death Star, perhaps. Some of the dialogue seems a bit flat, but it wraps up everything nicely. Of course, you got the format. I mean, I feel that Mark Hamill is kind of a bit stronger. In terms of his acting ability. As Luke again, I just love Luke's portrayal in this movie. He comes off as this cool, calm, and reserved badass. It's just like yes, and because Mike has that action figure from Return to Jedi, as Luke from Return to Jedi. That's great, pal. That's great, buddy. It's just like it wraps everything up nicely. It's definitely a thrilling conclusion. I mean, it's very magnificent. Like I said, some of my bones I have to pick with it. It's obviously the dialogue. It seems a bit flat in places. I mean, I've met some of the characterizations feel a bit thinly sketched. But it's just, like I said, it's a great conclusion overall. I love some of the sequences. The spider bite sequence, on Endor is dazzling in itself. It's just like I felt that was a very exciting sequence. And of course, one of the highlights of this movie is Ian McDiarmid as the Emperor. very malevolent splendor. It's just like I love the scenes between Luke and Vader. Just like as he tries to so relentlessly seduce him into the dark side. It's just like this. He's just a chilling character. It's just a separate of the characters. It's just like, and Ian McDermott just like I can tell he rouses. Is just playing this very evil character. You know, I mean, can we talk about some of the great one of the great space battles in movie history, and that's the Battle of Endor. Just like, it's just like a grand spectacle of itself. It's a wonderful it's a wonderful set piece. It's just like, I was just so into the whole. The whole battle just like it just got me so emotionally involved, and of course the great lightsaber battle between. I think it's between Luke and Vader. I think it's as emotionally charged as his one in The Empire Strikes Back, because he's trying to rescue his father. I mean, and that's what makes it so compelling. You know, it's definitely an excellent sequence, I feel. But overall, Return of the Jedi, great conclusion to the trilogy, and it's as great as the first two movies.
Okay.
So, Caleb, one last thing I want to add about Return of the Jedi, little commentary. That moment where looks like he's gonna kill Vader, the Emperor saying do it, and Luke the dark side. Except Luke did turn to the dark side 9 years later when he became the Joker.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you had to go there, didn't you?
Well, of course I did! The Joker is only one of the greatest villains in comic book history.
Do with me.
Not to mention, Caleb has such a man crush on the Joker.
Oh my god.
All right. Going over to Alex. Alex, go ahead, bud.
All right. So, like Chris said, Return of the Jedi is probably my least favorite as well of the original trilogy. But that being said, it's still a great film. I mean, it wraps things up very nicely. I like the way Luke is handled in this film too. You can tell how much his character has come, his character's come a long way since A New Hope in this film, and you can tell like the transformation that he went from just farm boy to Jedi Knight. You know, it's very well done, and the whole Jabba sequence on Tatooine was very good. Like I liked the Sarlacc pit sequence. I did think that Boba Fett could have been used a little bit more though in this film, because I mean I know a lot of people really love Boba Fett, but like for being such a loved character, I don't really feel like he got enough. I don't feel like he really got to do a whole lot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
His death at the hands of the Sarlacc pit is just criminal. Oh my goodness.
I don't get me wrong, he's a great character, and for like what he is and everything. I just felt like he could have been used a little bit more than what he was. That's all. But anyway, yeah, like, and then the Emperor was a very chilling character, like Chris said as well. Very, very chilling character, very menacing, and it was very. He was, Ian, the actor that played him was very. He was spot on with that. It was, and I like the Ewoks as well. I know some people give the Ewoks a lot of flack, but I don't think that they're that bad. They're like Colton said earlier, they're not Jar Jar. Yeah. So, but yeah, overall I'd say it's a great conclusion, but it is slightly flawed.
Awesome. All right, Mike, go ahead, but give me your thoughts on episode 6.
Well, I mean, for the longest time, this was my favorite of all the original trilogy. I mean, the director, Richard Marquand, actually died 4 years after making this film.
Oh.
But, I mean, I don't think he was as strong of a director as
Kirshner.
Kirshner, yeah. he's not as strong of a director, so George Lucas was kindly able to kind of push him around a little bit. But I mean, he was a skilled director for the most part, and if anything, just watch that final battle sequence and where it's cutting between the battle on Endor, the space battle, and the lightsaber fight in the Death Star. That is some of the most brilliant filmmaking I think I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was very well done.
Is wonderfully done, and the amount of I think. Even more so than Revenge of the Sith, the amount of emotion in that final duel between Luke and Vader is, it's just amazing. Because both Luke and Vader know there is no going back from this fight. This is going to be the end one way or the other, and that just puts such an emotional impact. And I mean, when Luke cuts off Vader's hand and he's just staring down at him. And he stares at his own hand, his own removed hand. He realizes just how close he came to falling to the dark side, and then he turns to the Emperor, who, like you guys have said, he's just an absolutely chilling figure. Just throws that lightsaber "No, you failed, Your Highness." And when the Emperor says, "So be it, Jedi," you could just see how much hatred and vileness he holds that term in. There's a reason why he wanted every single Jedi wiped out, and it just kind of it's exemplified in that one. For me, almost. Well, in A New Hope and sorry, I did say A New Hope. I don't care. And Empire Strikes Back. Han Solo is definitely the standout character. For this one, I think Luke kind of takes it a little bit more because there's so much more emotional impact in him. I still love Han. Honestly, if I had a weakness to Return of the Jedi, it's that Princess Leia was kind of she was kind of underused.
Yeah.
For one, she was like a slave for most. As her in Bush as the bounty hunter, I thought was pretty cool. But then she was in a slave suit. She got to kill Jabba. But then, on Endor, she was just there. She was a regular soldier, and then she was captured by the Ewoks. Yeah. But Paul, how about this? What if they used the Yub Yub song while they were on Endor, but when they transitioned to all the other planets, then they switched to the Celebration song? Huh? Would that have been better for you? I guess Paul has kind of skipped off.
Frozen.
Yeah. Anyway, I do love this movie. I don't mind the Ewoks at all. Hell, they tried to eat Han Solo and Luke Skywalker.
Oh my goodness.
They are not the Gungans here. But so that's just overall. I love this movie. I think the Jabba's Palace scene is great. I kind of wish they'd stuck with the original song, what was it, Lacti Neck or something like that.
Yes.
But yeah, other than that, great movie.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Now, real quick, guys, I just kind of want to get everyone's overall thoughts, of what impact Star Wars has had on your life, like personally, and then we'll look ahead to Episode 7, and I'll get you guys' thoughts on that and what you expect. So, Paul, real quick, go ahead. Growing up, just give me your thoughts of how it impacted your life and how it affects our pop culture and all that.
If the way we looked at movies, it changed the way we look at movies. It changed the way movies were made. Before Star Wars, you had movies like The French Connection or Chinatown, which great movies in their own right, but it lacked they lacked the magic, the feel of old school movies, old school heroes, movies. It showed you that you could make movies with visual effects and they could be amazing. As far as the personal impact, Star Wars to me, Star Wars is my childhood. As a kid, my father had the original trilogy on VHS. I watched those movies till you couldn't watch them anymore. I loved them that much, and for the longest time, Star Wars was the reason why, for the longest time, I wanted to be a filmmaker myself for a long time. I wanted to make movies like that. They were such a great inspiration for me, and to this day, they're still a great source of joy that I love to watch them because and sense of magic that I got watching them as a kid. So, I mean, they're Star Wars is everything to me. I love Star Wars.
All right, awesome. All right, Chris, go ahead, man. Give me your overall effect and how Star Wars affected your life, how it affects pop culture, and all that.
It's just like when I saw these movies, I was just blown away. Just like it's amazing in Star Wars how much they got everything right, from the story, the characters, the writing, and it's just the special effects. It's amazing, and how they pulled off those amazing special effects. It's just like many people thought it was impossible, but they pulled off the impossible. This was a game changer back in '77. Star Wars was everywhere. It not only just had just technically brilliant, technical, just had technical brilliance. It's just like it revived something. It revived old-fashioned storytelling, good old-fashioned heroes and stuff like that. And it's inspired many filmmakers. James Cameron, Peter Jackson, Jon Favreau, Ridley Scott. It's just like Christopher Nolan. When these guys were like young, I mean, they saw, and Brad Bird. When these guys saw this movie, it just completely changed them 180. It's just like how Lucas is able to pull that off was amazing. It's like. It's just like, and it had a considerable influence on me. I wanted to be a filmmaker. It has to be. It's just there's so many dimensions to it. Like battle between light and dark, and how you can look within oneself, and just like if you look in yourself and believe, it's just like if you just look in yourself and just have faith. It's just you can pull anything off and stuff like that. And like I said, it influenced me to become a filmmaker. Right now, I'm working on a fantasy story with Star Wars type elements. There is kind of like a supernatural energy with a light and dark side to it. That's all I will elaborate on. But yeah, just the Star Wars, it influenced me just like many ways, and also on a personal level. It just has so much meaning to me.
Okay, cool, awesome. Thank you, bud. All right, Alex. I know you're. Hold on 1 second.
What the hell just happened? Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry. Oh shit! I don't know if I'm still on the call or not.
You are.
I can hear you.
Oh, sorry. I just can't see you guys. Hold on.
Okay.
Sorry, I know that you're a little younger than the rest of us, Alex, but still, I want to get your thoughts on how Star Wars affected your life and you growing up, and how you think it has impacted like pop culture and everything like that.
Oh yeah, sure thing. Yeah. So yeah, I remember my dad actually had the VHSs of all three of the originals. And that was my first experience with them, was watching them on VHS, and they were they blew me away, really. Like they were very, very good. Like I remember being really, really entranced by them growing up. I mean, like I've always been surrounded by films my entire life. So watching Star Wars for me was a really, really, really rewarding experience. It still is a rewarding experience every time I watch it. Like it definitely it still blows me away even today. Almost 40 years after it first came out. But it definitely the pop culture it had a huge impact on pop culture. Because back in like the 70s and everything, it was everywhere. Like just like Chris said, like it was everywhere. You couldn't go anywhere. I'm sure you couldn't go anywhere back in the 70s. Nobody, everyone was talking about it back then. I'm sure. And that's when you've made something really special. Is when people don't just want to talk about it. It's that good. But and also it definitely, it is. I want to be a filmmaker someday too. At Star Wars, and if I ever do become a filmmaker, I'm gonna cite Star Wars as an inspiration, because that's, it definitely had a huge impact on, it was the first real adventure story that I ever remember watching. So every other adventure story, pretty much every other adventure story that I watch nowadays, I can't help but compare it to Star Wars, because it's hard for me not to, because that was the first ever real adventure story that I ever watched. So, and now, nothing's ever really come close to it for me. So, that's how, I just love Star Wars. It's fun. It's a fun and amazing. It's a fun and amazing franchise.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Mike, go ahead, man. Your thoughts on all this, and your thoughts on Star Wars and pop culture.
Well, it's definitely affected me. One of my earliest memories is my parents taking me to see Empire Strikes Back in the drive-in when I was maybe 4 or 5. To this day, it's one of the main reasons why I'm trying to be a writer personally. But beyond that, just affecting pop culture, it kind of created pop culture. Star Trek was around before that, but it was kind of a niche thing. But once Star Wars came out, it wasn't just like the nerds and the sci-fi geeks that loved this movie. Everybody saw this movie. It took off. It permeated every element of the culture. Darth Vader became an icon. I Am Your Father became a punchline for I don't know how many jokes. Really, it created pop culture. There's no really other way to say it. It's just, again, I hate to harp on about it, but the book How Star Wars Conquered the Universe, fantastic book, long read, but fantastic book if you have a chance. Just the amount of obstacles, the amount of things that had to be just the amount of twists. It's almost as if the Force itself wanted Star Wars to be made. The amount of if one thing had not happened, the whole thing would never have happened. The whole thing would never have been made. But everything clicked, and it was created. And even the prequels. Say what you will about the prequels, they helped create this mythos in this universe that we're still exploring. We will be exploring further in the future. And so, hey, more power to them for that as well. I can't hate on them completely, because they did help. We never would have seen the Jedi Battle of the Sith without it.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, guys. Now,
of course, everybody knows that the Force Awakens, Star Wars Episode 7, is getting underway in less than a month. It literally blows my mind.
Wait a second, they're making another Star Wars movie? Really? Why didn't nobody tell me these things?
Since the moment that Disney bought, Lucasfilm. We've been talking about this, and literally I couldn't be more excited. I can't believe that it's less than a month away. I will be seeing it opening weekend for sure. Y'all can bet on that, and I know all y'all will be. And everyone can anyone that tunes into us, we will be having a spoiler-heavy review on this channel the weekend it comes out. Don't know which day, but whenever all of us see it, we will be reviewing the shit out of it, spoiling the shit out of it. If you watch it, our video, and haven't seen it, what the fuck's wrong with you? Why haven't you seen it? Go see it. Hello, it's Star Wars. Hello. So Real quick, guys, I want to get your what you hope to see. If you have any predictions, that's cool. You don't have to do that. What you want to see, and just what you think we're gonna see, and just kind of give me your like rough thoughts on leading up to the movie. So, Paulie, go ahead.
I mean, what I want to see and what I hope to see is essentially JJ restoring, this franchise to what it used to be. I mean, yes, Revenge of the Sith was a great movie and, closed out the prequel trilogy with some style, but I mean, overall, the prequel trilogy kind of ruined Star Wars a little bit, so I want to see JJ bring it back to what it was, a fun, epic storytelling with great characters, and for God's sake, let the CGI be a compliment. Let it enhance the story. Don't make the CGI the story. It's not. Let it enhance the story, and it looks like JJ is going to do that. But, yeah, I think because JJ's such a huge Star Wars fan, he's such a fifth Star Wars fan geek like the rest of us, I think he's going to do justice to this movie. I can't wait to see the new characters. I can't wait to see the old characters come back. Yeah, come hell or high water, I'm going to see this movie opening weekend, and I will cut down anyone who gets in my way.
Well, we all know that there's going to be a few lens flares in there. That's all I know. So, but anyway, Chris, go ahead. Give me your thoughts, your hopes for Star Wars Episode 7.
Okay. All right. Yeah. This is a movie I've waited to see all my life. The Return of Luke Skywalker. Princess Leia. I wanted to see the backstory about how Anakin Skywalker became Darth Vader, but these are the movies I really wanted to see. The return of these iconic characters. I hope that JJ restores a sense of fun, magic, a sense of energy that the prequels lacked. Yeah, they were technically brilliant, but they were lacking in many, many different areas. There's no doubt they're flawed movies. They kind of did elaborate on the mythology of this fictional universe that is so beloved, but there were so much cracks. There's so much cracks through there. It's just like, and it's just like it was painful to watch in some respects. From what I've seen, what JJ has done, it looks like he has balanced, between story and character. Wonderfully. It looks like, and the thing looks, the whole damn thing looks, it looks seamless. The whole goddamn thing looks seamless. The effects, it looks like they don't dominate. I hope it's the case, but we never know. I hope he's pulled it off. If I may say this, I think Chewbacca might die in this.
Possible. I mean, he has died in the book.
Oh my god. Okay, Chris, thank you.
Yeah. I hope it's good. Yeah.
Moving on over to Alex. Alex, go ahead, man. Give me your thoughts, your opinions, your hopes for Star Wars Episode 7.
What I really want to hope to see is JJ do justice to the original trilogy. I mean, that's really all I want to see, and from everything I'm seeing in the trailers, it looks like he's succeeded. But you never really truly know until you see the film, so I'm not gonna really, make any assumptions or anything like that. But you never know. I do strongly think that one of the principal characters from the original trilogy will die. As to who it is, I can't say because it's too early yet. Still, but I do think that one of them will die because that would be a very emotional scene. I think, to see that happen. But as for basically, I just want to see him do it justice more than anything else.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, Mike, go ahead, man. Give me your thoughts. Give me your hopes. Any predictions that you have for Episode 7.
Well, my hopes are just to see a really good Star Wars movie. Honestly, I have no doubt that J.J. Abrams is going to give us that. I mean, the guy lives and breathes Star Wars as much as we do. He is a true fanboy. He has got fanboys on his cast. He's got fanboys over, Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy are absolutely fanboys, or fanboy and a fangirl. Sorry. I'm not going to speculate on if any of them are going to live or die. I'm kind of hoping that they don't, because I think
Yeah.
it would. I kind of think that a death would be more effective in episode 8. But I don't know. I'm hoping for a really good film, and I'm kind of of the school of thought that I think Rey is actually Luke's daughter, and I
Nah.
think Kylo Ren is Han and Leia's son. You know what? I would not be at all surprised if I'm completely wrong about that. Is Rey, is their child as well? But it's a gut feeling I got right now. That's all.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Real quick, I do have a quick prediction on episode 7. I think Han Solo is going to die,
No.
unfortunately.
No.
Because I honestly think that that's the only way that they got Harrison Ford come back. He's notorious for he doesn't like Han Solo. He doesn't like Han Solo. He doesn't like that character whatsoever. But he loves Indiana Jones. He loves Indiana Jones. So I guarantee you, they said, Harrison, you come back, we gonna kill you off, and we'll make a 5th Indiana Jones. And let's not hope it sucks like the last one. But anyway.
I would say you're right, except the fact that he has been so outgoing and so enthusiastic about this film in every bit of advertising that he's been in, like Comic-Con, D23, what was it, Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
He's been just so outgoing and so behind this film. I don't think that's...
I just think that Harrison Ford is a smart guy. I mean, he knows the business. I mean, if Harrison Ford showed up to a Comic-Con or showed up to an event to talk about Star Wars and he was a giant douchebag about it, I mean that's gonna turn people off. I mean, there's huge fans that would be really turned off and really upset. I just think I'm not saying that he's pretending, but I just think he's being Harrison Ford. He's a smart guy. He knows the business. He's been around for a decade. So he knows. Yeah, he knows how to work a room. He knows how to work a crowd. So, I mean, I hope you're right. I don't want him to die. I'm just saying, I just think that it looks that way, honestly. Because, I mean, everyone knows how much he hates this character. And I've been hearing rumors about another Indiana Jones. And I'm just like, so we'll see. I hope not. But again, we will see. So,
I happen to agree with you, Cam. I think if any of the main characters are going to die, it's going to be Han Solo, but it probably won't be in Episode 7. I think he'll be around at least until Episode 8 or maybe Episode 9, but we'll see.
I wish I could see this with you and Paul on opening day. Just, oh my goodness.
That would be a dream, man. That would be a dream.
I wish I could too, buddy, but I'll have to watch it with Gretchen.
Well, you know what?
Star Wars marathon for me. Oh my goodness. Oh.
This summer, we're all gonna buy it. What if we all get a chance to meet up and hang out this summer? We can just watch it on Blu-ray together.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. All right. So now I'm gonna hand the reins over to Paulie. He's gonna take over for the rest of the show, doing a few last things before we finish up. So Paulie, go ahead.
Okay, so you guys, because it is the last episode of the show, we are going to do it's time for our monthly collection updates. This is the point of the month where we show off all the new movies, TV shows, video games, what kind of stuff that we bought over the past month. So, Alex, I'm going to start with you on this one. Why don't you show off some of the new, have you gotten any new movies, TV shows, or video games you'd like to show off?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I actually don't own a gaming console at the moment. I am planning to get one soon. But I did get a new TV though, a nice 43-inch, so that's good. Is anyone familiar with the Criterion Collection?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I own a couple of those now. I own a few of those. But yeah, this is my movie collection right here. I've collected a couple movies over a month. I mean, obviously, I have a couple pop figurines as well. Okay, I mean, I just like to collect this kind of stuff. It keeps me going.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't have your video on, so we can't see, but I believe you. I believe you, but
Acquired
yeah.
anything over the past month?
Sorry, Paul.
Well, I bought a couple of movies. I mean, I bought so many I can barely remember all of them at the moment right now. But yeah, Well, has anyone seen The Gift yet?
No, I've heard great things about it though.
Oh yeah, I bought it actually. It was pretty good. So I bought that recently. That was a good film. I bought Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. That was also good.
Haven't seen it.
Yeah, that one was good.
Okay.
What else did I get? Yeah. For the Criterion list, I actually got a free Criterion film, actually from a friend. It's called Repo Man.
Ooh, I've heard of that one.
I've heard of that
You
one.
know what this was? You said Repo Man, you said?
Repo Man.
No, I can't remember who's in that one.
Came out in the 80s.
Oh,
No, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it. But yeah, that's pretty much my collection for now.
Okay. Cool.
Is he all done? I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, Paul, go ahead.
I didn't know if Alex was finished or not.
Oh, yeah, I'm finished. Go ahead.
Okay, Chris, what about you? Have you got anything over the past month?
unfortunately, again, I do not. I hope to get some new stuff next month. Oh my God.
All right, Mike, what about you?
Well, I got myself a little Assassin's Creed here.
Okay. Nice.
I also have Fallout 4, but I got that on Steam, so I can't really show you a picture of it.
Which Assassin's Creed game would you say is your favorite?
For me, it's still Assassin's Creed 2.
I agree.
I played that one straight through for a week straight. I just couldn't put it down. It was so engrossing.
Assassin's Creed 2 was great. I actually played that over at a friend's house. I was spending a week over at their house, and I beat it in like 5 days.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I gave up on that game. I gave up on those games way too soon. I need to start playing them again.
Oh yeah, that's so much fun. I played Brotherhood, but I heard that one was really good too.
Okay.
Caleb, what about you?
Paulie, I know I'm the Blu-ray king. You know, I have a giant-ass collection of so much movies, but movies have been on the back burner. I mean, unfortunately, the only thing I bought, I think, is Black Ops 3. Other than that, I haven't really bought anything. Probably I have a baby on the way, so money's been a little tighter than. Thank you. It's my son's actually going to be here in less than 3 months, so money's been a little tight, so yeah. But once I can, I will definitely begin back on the grind to getting all my stuff. There's so many things that I need to buy that I haven't bought yet but it is what it is. So sorry, Paul.
Caleb,
sorry, man. I failed you.
Be honest. You're gonna name him Luke, aren't you?
No.
Oh.
No. His name is Elijah. That's gonna be his name. So, but yeah. Anyway, so go ahead, Paul. Sorry.
The only valid excuse you can have, Caleb, the only valid excuse is you have a son coming along the way. All right. I did not get a whole lot of stuff this month, but what I lack in quantity, I've made up for in quality. So first thing, I know we've been talking about Star Wars the whole month, so this might come as a bit of a traitorous thing, but I picked up the Star Trek complete original series, all 3 seasons, with the up-to-date special effects.
Nice.
I got a kick-ass deal at Best Buy for $45.
Wow.
And speaking of kick-ass deals, despite the fact that I've never seen a single episode, I simply could not pass this up. I picked up the complete Smallville series from Best Buy. You normally see it for like $200, $230. I got it for $95 at Best Buy. That's it.
I enjoyed that show. I enjoyed it a lot.
It's okay. It's not.
Yeah, I just could not pass it up. I mean, look, it's huge and it's heavy as hell. And it's so.
Was Blu-ray or on DVD, Paulie?
No, they're all DVDs. I don't think Smallville's available on Blu-ray.
The later seasons are,
Okay.
because I have them.
But still, that is a nice set. That is a real. I used to have it. It's a really nice set.
Yeah. I also got a few video games, some Lego games, and I got Deadpool for the PS4.
Nice.
And there's something else that I thought I got something else. I just can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, I can't play PS4 games out of PS4 system, so I picked that up this month.
Oh, Battlefront.
I got the
Finally,
limited
he's on the
edition
ground with me.
Darth Vader art cover PlayStation 4,
Oh, I want that so bad.
and
Says-
it looks friggin' amazing. The controller looks pretty cool too.
My girlfriend showed that to me in the Best Buy ads, and I was like drooling.
Nice one.
Because I want
Paulie.
I will say though that I wound up trading in the Battlefront game because it was not the game I was hoping for. So I don't have that. I traded it in to get Deadpool.
Real
That's
quick. Okay. Real quick, Paulie. I have to take back over for a second, please.
Okay.
I have a rant.
Oh boy.
You know, if there's one thing I hate about video games today, it's one phrase. One phrase that I cannot fucking stand. DLC. Do you know why I can't stand
God!
DLC?
Get me started on it.
Do you know why I can't stand DLC? Because, okay, so you buy Battlefront, and I've talked to multiple people, probably, because I was going to pick it up with my brother-in-law, like, we were going to go in half, but then I heard all this shit, then I said no. Okay, so the game is $60. There's a bunch of DLC that's going to cost an extra $50 fucking dollars. So you want to tell me, and all this content is already on the fucking disc. You have to unlock it because it's all DLC. You got to unlock it on the disc. And man, oh man, that nothing pisses me. So basically, I'm not paying $60 for a brand new game. I'm
You're
paying
paying $150 for a brand new game.
110, 120, 130, $140. I mean, I can't fucking stand it. Whatever happened to the days with the N64, with the Super Nintendo, where you bought for like $50, you bought a full fucking game. All the content that is available in the whole game is already in the fucking game. I cannot stand game companies releasing an unfinished product. They'll buy it because it says Star Wars on it, and we'll just release this. This is 20. This is 10. This is 30. Fuck you. This is bullshit. I mean, I can't stand it. Okay, I'll wait for a few years down the road, probably when there's the Ultimate Battlefront Edition where it already has all the DLC and it's only $20. Then I'll pick it up. Then I'll try it out. I don't care about the multiplayer. I mean, I heard, Paulie, that somebody beat the single-player campaign in 45 fucking minutes.
That's because there is none.
Exactly. 45.
This is what I heard about Battlefront. It is an absolutely visually stunning game. The visual effects are like the best you've ever seen. The multiplayer is top-notch, absolutely state-of-the-art, but that's it. That's it.
Holy shit! Battlefront is the prequels.
You know what I'm saying?
Visually stunning, but there's nothing inside it.
Here's what I'm saying though. Like this is called this is Star Wars Battlefront. This isn't fucking Call of Duty where all everyone cares about is the fucking multiplayer, okay?
Yeah.
I want to play a great fleshed out story that should take me days to finish. I wish they had made a story.
Weeks.
I wish that they made a story where you go through all 6 movies. Yes, I said all 6 movies.
Yeah.
Why can't we do that?
Like Battlefront 2.
Where is it?
Yeah.
Like, where is that? Why can't we have that? No, we're gonna focus all on the multi. Fuck the single player. Nobody plays that. No, fuck you. This is not Call of Duty. Okay, this is Star Wars. It actually has a fucking story, unlike Call of Duty. You know, so we're basically this is Call of Duty with Star Wars characters thrown in there. I mean, this is all that is, and it pisses me off.
I agree. You know what I equate it to? I equate it to a Megan Fox performance. She's amazing to look at, but there's nothing to her.
I mean, it's so frustrating, though. I mean, it's so frustrating. It's like I bought this. Okay, like I bought Call of Duty 3. I mean, Black Ops 3. Okay, I'm gonna play that for the multiplayer. I wouldn't buy Star Wars for the multiplayer. I understand that. That's what everyone plays. That's what I'm gonna do, and it's probably gonna be great and fun. But it's Star Wars. You want an enriched single-player campaign, and do you know what would be even cool? This was made by EA. No surprise. If you had a co-op campaign where I could play with Paul and go through an amazing story, and we could do it together.
You mean like Battlefront 2?
I mean, how
Like
awesome
in
would
the
that
Old
be?
Republic.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why would you do this? And it's because you got all this fucking DLC, man. And it's like, companies are just lurching money, and it pisses me the fuck off. Like, I can't stand that. Like, I don't mind DLC when it comes to a game like a Call of Duty, because I'm only gonna play for the multiplayer. I don't care about the DLC. If I had Battlefront right now, I would be so tempted to buy that DLC. You know what I'm saying? Because it's Star Wars, and it's so frustrating. Like, I don't understand why companies do this. Oh, that's right, because all they care about is fucking money. They don't care about
they don't give
anything
a shit
else.
about us.
So, but I just had to get that out of the way, because that's so frustrating. Because I was so looking forward to playing with you, but now, because neither of us are getting the game, obviously, you know. So it's just very frustrating. So I want a great Star Wars game. I want a great current gen Star Wars game where there's an amazing story. I don't think that's not too much to ask for.
No, it's not. It's completely reasonable to ask you, and if you give it to us, we're gonna scoop it up.
Absolutely.
I will jump.
Apparently, it is too much to ask for since they didn't give you that.
Right, and it's frustrating because if you release the whole completed game, you know what I'm saying, all 6 movies, right?
Yeah.
And then you came out later with a DLC, and it was episode 7 or another whole story that you could play a side story, but it's not part of the main story. Then I would buy that, you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh shit, there's more stuff, and it's $20, and it's another 10 hours of gameplay. I'm in, you know.
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
The
That
Revenge
makes
of the Sith
sense.
game that came out for the PS2.
Yeah. Yes,
That was a
great
good
game.
game. That was a good game.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a great fucking game.
That was
I
a fun
used
game.
to play I used to play the shit out of that game, man. But it's just so frustrating, you know. So anyway, Paul, sorry, I'm just ranting over and over, but
No, I agree with you on that. Fuck DLC. Fuck you, DLC. I goddamn hate you.
no, it's true. I mean, it's just total bullshit. I mean, it should never happen. That should never happen.
It should never happen.
So
I remember I saw they compared the evolution of DLC to a burger. 10 years ago they gave you a completed burger, all the toppings, and then you could get condiments, pay a little extra for some condiments. That was a DLC. Just a couple of condiments here and there. But now you're getting just a bun, and everything else from the patties, the toppings, the condiments is all DLC.
Yep.
But anyway.
yep.
I digress. So let's get on to the final topic of our show before we wrap things up. Because Thanksgiving is only 2 days away, I would like to have everyone take a moment and just say a few things that you're thankful for this time around. So this year around. So, Alex, why don't I start with you? Is there anything that's happened in the past year that you're thankful for?
Oh, absolutely. A year ago, I was unemployed. I was, I wasn't doing too good. And then, you look at a year, fast forward to today, I have a full-time job now. I have my own place. Life's pretty good right now. So yeah, I'm thankful for that.
Good for you. Good for you.
Thank you.
Chris, what about you? Is anything going on this year that you're thankful for?
Just thankful to have the family, friends that back me up in this show. I mean, especially you guys. It's been great talking to you guys. I mean, it's great, you guys are great friends to me. It's just I just love you just doing this thing, you guys. It's just I mean, this is probably one of the things that keeps me going. It's just this whole show. I just love this time we spend, doing this whole thing. That's something I'm thankful for. Those are things I'm thankful for.
Absolutely.
Awesome, man. That's really great to hear, man. Chris, I mean, it's really great, man.
All right, Mike, what about you?
Well, I don't know. I'm thankful about something that might be coming out pretty soon.
Nice.
D23. Oh my goodness.
Hell yeah! I was there front and center. Well, not
Bruce
really,
Suzanne, man.
but anyway, no, I mean, I'm thankful for my family. For my, I'm going over to my sister's house, and she has like two nieces. I have two nieces and a nephew there, and they are just so awesome. They are the best nieces and nephew I could hope for. And you know, I actually got to echo Chris there. I'm really thankful for you guys. I mean, I'm I'm one of the co-hosts of a podcast of my own, Geek Salad, and I thought that was the most fun I could ever have. And then, boom, you guys invited me in, and I've come back for a few episodes, and I'm having a ball. I mean, this is great. You guys are awesome, and thank you so much.
Thanks, Mike.
That's very nice. You know, we've enjoyed having you here.
We enjoyed it. Oh, definitely.
All right, Caleb, it's your turn. What's been going on this past year that you're thankful for?
Oh man, so much is going on. I mean, a year ago I was unemployed. I was single. I just got out of a long-term relationship that was really, really shitty. Now I'm engaged. I have a son on the way. I inherited two beautiful daughters that I love so much. I started my show. I mean, I started my dream. I mean, this is literally my dream. I've always wanted to have a show of my, a show of my own work, and I made so many friends. I mean, literally, when I was on Facebook the other day, and I sent me a notification that me and Chris had been friends on Facebook for a year. I mean, it really hit me. I made some amazing, lifelong friends. It's crazy. I mean, always one of my best friends, and Chris is now too. Him and Paul are gonna be in my wedding when I get married. I mean, it's just crazy that when you start something and you just meet these amazing people that really change your life, and that I mean, I'm appreciative for all you guys for coming out here to support us and to be here with us and just sit around and talk movies. I mean, it really is life changing, and it really means a lot to me that you guys are helping me realize my dream of having a show and just sitting around with a bunch of my friends talking about movies. That's all that this podcast is. But me and my friends talking about movies, video games, comic books, whatever we want to talk about. I don't know, food. That's all it is, and it's really for anybody. So anybody that watches this that wants to join, you just send me a message or something, and we will figure something out. Because really, I welcome everybody, and I am thankful that we got this on the ground, and we're almost to 50 episodes. That blows my fucking mind. It literally does. I can't understand it. But really, and last but not least, I want to give a big thanks to Gretchen. She's my rock. She's my everything. She's my fiance. She came in my life at a really difficult time, like Paul knows about it, and she really changed my life. I mean, she means the world to me. I mean, she's pregnant right now, so she's a little grabby sometimes, but I wouldn't want anyone else to be having my child, and I couldn't be more thankful for her. So.
It's awesome, man. That's awesome. That is just beyond cool, dude.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I mean, aside from, my family and, my friends, especially Caleb and another friend of mine that I've known for a while, I mean, I'm thankful that I've got to be involved with this incredible show, that I've met so many amazing people here. I enjoy talking about it, and it pains me so much that I'm going to be taking a leave of absence in January, but, I mean, it's for, there's a reason behind it. A year ago, I was a rudderless ship. I really had no clue what I wanted to do with my life just a year ago, but now I'm thankful that my grades have improved so much since I went back to school. I'm thankful for the fact that I'm getting my second associate's degree next month. I'm thankful that I've got accepted to Southern New Hampshire University. I'm thankful that I finally have a career path that I want. I'm thankful that my life is finally turning around. I'm the happiest I've been in years. And I honest to God, I mean it. I'm the happiest that I've been in years. And most of all, I'm thankful that this year I get to spend Thanksgiving with my family, which I couldn't, instead of spending it at work, which I have done the past couple.
Yeah.
Everyone, so please don't shop Thanksgiving. Please don't shop Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving. Let's send a message to the corporate world that we'd rather spend Thanksgiving stuffing our faces with turkey and watching football with our families rather than shopping, putting stuffing money in their wallets. Fuck the corporate world. Give me turkey and football.
I'm thankful I work in Massachusetts where they can't open on Thanksgiving.
Oh,
nice.
I just want to say real quick, I totally agree with you. Now listen, me and Paul, I mean, I used to work at Toys R Us. That's where Paul works now. Me and him work Black Friday. I would go in on Thanksgiving that day, and it's literally the worst thing ever, you guys. Please, 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 I applaud you. Don't show them that we are a better society. I understand, listen, everybody wants to save money, but your family should be the most important. Take the day. If you want to go out at like 4 in the morning, then I go out at like 4 in the morning. I don't care, but just hey, Thursday, spend it with your loved ones. Hold them close because you never know what might happen. If you might lose them or something, just please enjoy that and don't take it for granted because whenever it's in doubt, you always have your family. Family is the most important thing ever. And I'm thankful that I don't have to work Thanksgiving either. So, but well said, Paulie, and yeah. So I agree.
All right. So with all that said, that is going. Nerd Night is one podcast. I'd like to thank you all for being here. First time experience being on the show, and I hope you will join us again for more.
Yeah, I might. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Chris, as always, my friend, it's an absolute thrill having you here.
Absolutely a pleasure. Great talking about the great, universe, the great Star Wars, that, this wonderful creation that George Lucas, gave to the world. I just wish I could see it with you, Caleb, and Mike on opening days. It would be awesome. But I'm going to see it, the Star Wars marathon. But yeah, it's that should be a great experience in itself. I don't know, but hopefully it is. Like, I can't wait for the Force Awakens. I can't wait for Star Wars: The Force Awakens. But yeah, it's great. Great doing this with you guys.
Absolutely, absolutely. Mike, it was a pleasure having you here as well. We appreciate you being able to make it.
Yeah, it's always great to be back. I got my two little buddies here.
I got this little buddies here. Oh my God.
There we go.
I got this baby right here.
Once again, it is just fantastic to talk movies with you guys. Hope to do it a whole lot. Thank you for holding off until I got out of work, which I won't go into. But anyway, thank you so much, guys.
Absolutely.
Hey, Caleb, my brother, man, I'm so glad that you were able to stick around with this to the end. I know that, with the baby coming around, Gretchen, all that, and your job and everything, I'm sure you're exhausted by now. So, I am so thankful that you were able to stick around the whole episode and talk about this amazing franchise with me.
Yes. We'll be seeing this
again.
It's
been hard. Listen, I'm not gonna sugarcoat you guys. It's been hard, but again, this show it's a part of me. You guys are my family too. So I'll never forget about you guys, and I'm gonna try to be around more, especially when you unfortunately have to go on your hiatus, Paulie. But you'll be back in the summertime, so I'm not worried about it. It's not a big deal. So, but yeah, again, it was great, and yeah, Star Wars is the best.
Yes.
No
Next month we'll be coming back. We'll be seeing this again. Oh my goodness.
And like I said, guys, keep an eye out for our review. We will definitely be having a review on the channel whenever we all see it. And we're going to spoil the shit out of it, so it's going to be a spoiler-heavy review. So just be warned now.
All right, so with that said, that concludes our show. Because there's no Flash and Arrow this week, there's no Flash Arrow recap show, which is sad, but many special episodes are planned to count down our top 10 favorite TV show and movie theme songs. So get your list ready, everyone. I want to hear them next week, and we hope you will join us next week to hear those. Until then, have a great night, everyone, and may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you always.
Peace.